What's up, everybody? How's it going? My name's Tom, and today I want to show you how to write irrational numbers into fractions. So what I mean is they repeat and they go on forever, and sometimes in math we are asked to convert that into a fraction. So I'm just going to jump right in. I'm going to do a quick example right away. So for example, if we have a number 0.87 repeating forever, so that just means that it's 0.87878787 forever. Okay, so how do we write that into a fraction? Step one, what I always like to do is I like to look at how many numbers are being repeated. And then what I like to do from there is I like to count how many decimal places it would take to get to the beginning of the pattern. So here we have 2. There's 1, 2. Okay, so that tells me that I need to multiply something by 100 to cancel out the 87878787. So let's get a number, just say, let's call it n, and that's our original number, and n is equal to 0.87 repeating. Okay, so earlier I said that we need to multiply something by 100. So we're going to put 100n is also the same thing as 87.87 repeating. So all I did was I went 1, 2, right? So if you put the decimal point there, it's 87.87 repeating. Now if you look, when you subtract, you can actually cancel out the infinite part. I'll put that in red just to show you that it's canceling out. Boom, boom. And now we could just subtract like we normally do and solve to figure out how to write it in a fraction. So 100n minus n is 99n. And then what are we left with? 87 minus 0 is 87. Divide by 99 on both sides. We get n is equal to 87 over 99. And this indeed can be reduced if we divide the top and bottom by 3 over 3, which is equivalent to 1. I think we get 29 over 33. And that, if you put that in your calculator or use long division, should come out to 0.87878787 forever. So, let's just check that real quick. Let's check that out to see that we got the right answer. Use green. So check. 29 divided by 33. Well, 33 doesn't go into 29, so we put a 0.0, 0.0. Okay, and 290 divided by 33 is 8.787878. So the maximum that can go into is 8, right? And 33 times 8 without going over 290 is 264. Alright, borrow, that becomes an 8, that becomes a 10, so 6. 8 minus 6 is 2, and then we carry down another 0, 260. Okay, and 260 divided by 33 comes up to 7.8787, so the highest you can multiply 33 by without going over 260 is 7. Okay, so then we end up with 33 times 7 is a 231. Borrow, that becomes a 5, that becomes a 10, 9, 5, 4, 3, 2. Carry it up again. Oh, look, 290, and that's where we started off. If you don't recognize that, I'll outline that in red. Right there, 290, that's what we started with up there. So that's always going to be the same process forever and ever and ever. And look what that means. That is 0.87 repeating forever. So that's always going to be 8787. Oh, that wasn't a good 7. Sorry about that. So let's do another one. I don't know. I just want to show something different than the last example, so let's do one with 3 repeating decimals. So let's just say 0.622 repeating. Okay, so like I said in the previous example, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to look at what power of 10 you have to multiply by to make the 0.622 cancel out when you subtract. So we're going 10, 100, 1000. So that's 3 spots. We're going to have to multiply by 1000 when we get to the the end phase, I call it. So now let's just call our n is equal to 0.622. Okay, so we said that to cancel out the 0.622 repeating, we're going to have to multiply something by 1000. Okay, so when you move that 10, 100, 1000, it becomes 622.622 repeating. Okay, now let's do our subtraction, and we notice that the 0.622 is now going to cancel out, and we are left with 1000 minus 1n is 999n, and 622 minus 0 is 622. And pretty much every single problem that you do like this is going to look like this, almost this exact same format. It's the only thing that's going to be different is, you know, if you're multiplying by 10 or 100 or 1000, depending on how many digits you have repeating. So now let's divide by 999 on both sides, and n is equal to 622 divided by 999. Okay. And yeah, I just double checked to see if that could be reduced. That cannot be reduced. So if someone asks you what your final answer is, this was going to be your final answer. And it's always a good habit, like what a lot of teachers look for is, you know, they want to know what your number understanding is. So it's not just finding the answer. Like anyone could plug this into their calculator and just do, you know, you do 0.622, 0.622, and you just go to math, and then you just change it into a fraction, and you know you can get the answer. But a lot of teachers, they want to know why, they want to know how. So it's always a really good idea if you have time on a test, you know, to do a check and just like to prove yourself. So let's do 622 divided by 999. Let's line up our decimals. 0.0. So 6,220 divided by 999 happens to be 6, like we know. Okay, so 999 times 6 is 5994. Okay, borrow that 2, that becomes a 1, that becomes a 10, 6, that becomes a 1, that becomes an 11, it's a 2, 61 minus 59 is 2, bring down the 0, 2260 divided by 999 is 2, and 999 times 2 is 1998. It's a good year. Alright. 6 becomes a 5, that becomes a 10. 10 minus 8 is 2. Okay, borrow that 2, that becomes a 1, that becomes a 15. 15 minus 9 is 6. And then 21 minus 19 is 2. Bring down another 0. 2620 divided by 999 is another 2 again. So everything's looking good. Our check is coming out pretty good here. We're almost done. So once again, we're going to have 999 times 2. We're going to get 1998. Alright, that becomes a 1, that becomes a 10, 2, that becomes a 5, that becomes an 11. 11 minus 9 is 2, and 25 minus 19 is 6. So, oh, look at there, 622 and 622. We're back to our original, so that means that we got the right answer, and that 0.622 repeating is indeed 622 over 999 in its fractional form. So what I want to do is write out some steps, kind of rules, like a little recap of what we just did here. And this is the world's smallest eraser, so I'm just going to make a new one. Oh boy. Okay, so step 1, what you want to do is you want to look at what's being repeated. So if you have, let's just say, one number being repeated forever, you're going to do when you get to the end phase of it, you're going to multiply by 10n is equal to your number. If it's 2 decimals repeating, it's going to be 100n. If it's 3, it's going to be 1000n, and so on. You're just going to multiply anything of that by 10. It's going to be 10 to the, so, 10 to the 1, 10 to the 2, 10 to the 3. Okay, so then after you have that, you're going to want to cancel out the repeated decimal. Okay, then after that, it's just some algebra. Oh, whoops. And then after the algebra, you're just going to want to reduce your fraction that you get, and then your final step is to check to make sure that everything checked out all right. Well, I thank you for watching my very first tutorial in mathematics. I plan on coming out with a whole lot more, and hopefully I can help you out in the future, and I hope this video helped. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.